What a week we had! What a week are we going to have? Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com, your weekly market recap. Like, subscribe, and without further ado, let's see the charts. This is how the weekly S&P 500 heat map looking. Microsoft, Google 1% to the upside, Meta with 7% to the upside, Amazon 2.7% to the upside, Apple just lost 1.3, NVDA lost 2.2, Tesla 7% to the downside. Overall, we have a mixed heat map, some green, some red, and let's talk about the weekly chart on the SPY. As we can see, the 512 from support, 3 weeks of resistance to support, 3 weeks of support, 512 support, 524 resistance. Next week, Wednesday and Thursday, we have CPI, PPI, FOMC minutes. Be prepared for a super volatile week. QQQ, look at this. Since beginning of February, 429, 430 holding as support, 450 resistance. Look at this super tight price action in the past 6 weeks, from 438 to the downside to 449 to the upside. Super tight price action. Let's see how next week will impact the Qs, the SPY, the Dow Jones that just gave us bearish candle, lost 2.2% last week, but on the positive side, we are holding above the yellow zone. Breaking below, we will see 381 and then 371 to the downside. IWM lost 2.8% to the downside, but overall, nothing much on the IWM. As you can see, since end of February, just sideways move. The yellow zone, the 202 holding as support, the 211 resistance with the 206 in the middle also as resistance and support. So all this area, very important area of support and resistance. Let's see how the IWM will respond for next week's economical news. As we can see, since October of 2023, IWM is giving us higher lows and also higher highs. Above the 212, we will see 227 and also 250 to the downside. Bitcoin, we still have almost 2 days until the weekly candle of the Bitcoin will close. And as we can see, the 66,200 super important area of support. Look at this, in the past 4 weeks, support broke during the week, but all the past 4 weeks managing to hold and close above the 66. Below it, we will see 60, below 60, 52 to the downside. Long continuation. If we will get a weekly close, maybe not this week, maybe next week, maybe the week after, above 73,800, we have 83 and 95 to the upside. Ethereum struggling to hold above the yellow zone. Look at this. We are very close to the weekly candle ending, closing, and we are still inside the yellow zone, breaking below it, 31.30, 29 to the downside. Look at this 36.75, super tough resistance in the past 3 weeks, closing above it. Maybe not, for sure not this week, unless something extraordinary will happen. Maybe next week, maybe the week after, then we will have the 4,000 and then 46 and 52 to the upside. Magnificent 7 ETF, MAGS, 3 weeks, holding above the 38.40. Long continuation above the 40 towards 42 and 44.70 to the upside. Overall, same as the SPY, same as the Qs. Not surprising, we have a super tight price range between the 38 and the 40. Breaking below the 38, we will see this yellow zone retested as support. SOXX, nothing much. Always zoom in, zoom out, and you will get a better point of view of price action. If you are struggling with yourself, is it the time to go long? Is it time to go short? And the same is, all you need to do is zoom out to the weekly, and what do we see? 5 consecutive weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive weeks without any movement. Super tight price action. This price action is super dangerous to try to trade, whether day trading and swing trading. Imagine if you took long or short beginning of March, basically sideways move. Your mentality is getting weaker by the week and by the day. We are still above the yellow trend line, breaking below this area, super important area of support, the yellow zone, as I always say. Below it, 210, 204, and back to the 181. Long continuation. I want to see at least 1 week closing above the 227. And when I say weekly close, I mean at least 50% of a weekly candle above the 228. MSOS, the cannabis ETF, still holding above the yellow zone. Very volatile week went on the MSOS, and as you can see, FTI, the Fibonacci gives us all we need for support and resistance. The 10-10, very tough resistance, went all the way to 11 and back below it and holding above the yellow zone. MJ closed the week. Once again, went all the way to the 470. We have been talking about this 470 in the past 2-3 weeks. And we said that the 470 will be a very tough area of resistance. You are more than welcome to check the past 7-10 days of stock market videos that I made. And you will see we've been talking about this 470. What happened? Went all the way to the 470 and back below the 433. Still bullish on the daily, bullish on the weekly. Now let's see continuation, feeling this tail to the upside, and above the 470 we will see 570. Like, subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss more upcoming videos during this weekend. Let's continue with the gold, another 4.3% to the upside during this week. Now above the 2330, look at this, closed at the weekly's highs. Above weekly's highs, we will see 24, 25, 40 to the upside. Now this yellow zone from resistance over here will get retested as support, but overall we are inside a super bullish trend on gold. Next we have the XLF, the financial sectors ETF. What do we got? Engulfing candle this week took last week's highs and took also last week's lows. Now below the 41.80 we will see 40.20 to the downside. Above the 42.20 we will see 45, and yes, it all comes down to next Wednesday and Thursday. So be super prepared with your stop loss, with your risk management, because until then anything can happen, and also after anything can happen. During these kind of weeks, I'm taking a step back, reducing my position size, reducing the amount of trades, whether day trading, whether swing trading. I'm reducing the size. Apple. Before we continue talking about Apple, you are more than welcome to join the Fibonacci-Traders Discord, the only Discord that will help you grow your trading account slowly, but we are making money. This is the whole point of the Fibonacci-Traders Discord. We are helping each other. We have trading floor in English, we have trading floor in Hebrew. Choose your trading floor, choose your language, whether you are day trader, whether you are a swing trader, crypto trader, option trader, just you have everything under one roof, and we help each other grow as traders and we make money. So join us. Links in the description below. Now let's talk about Apple. Apple on the weekly, super bearish on all time frames. Look at this. We have been talking about this 168 area in the past 2-3 months already. Look how the bulls of Apple are trying, and they are giving everything in the power to hold this area. Super important area of support. It was support over here, and it was a very tough resistance over here. Breaking below, we are still under the impression of a multi-top scenario on a monthly time frame. This is the first top, second top. Now breaking below this neckline and the same price action we saw over here from the 144 all the way to the 196. We will get to the downside from 168 back to the 146, maybe even all the way to 140. And don't forget, we have an open gap over here at the 146 on the daily on Apple. Breaking below, Apple is going to the 150, and if Apple breaks below it, the rest of the market follows, and breaking also down under. AMD, same goes for AMD. We have a super important area of support. Look at this support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of support since middle of January until middle of February. 5 weeks of support. Now back retesting the support, breaking below this area. You know it. We are heading back to the 140 and then 120 and sub 100, because the same price action we saw over here to the upside below the 164, nothing will hold back the bears, and we can have the same price action to the downside. NVDA lost 2.6% last week. Still holding above the 873. Look at this. Very important area of support. Breaking below 790. If you are holding NVIDIA on a weekly time frame, if you are trading NVIDIA on a weekly time frame for the longer term, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, of course with the help of the FTI, this should be your stop loss. The green line over here, 848. Below it, you will see 790 back to the yellow zone as support. So prepare, and always protect your downside. Meta 8.6% to the upside. Look at this. After several 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is a Fibonacci number. What came after 8? Of sideways move on the weekly on Meta. Boom. Almost 9% to the upside. Now above last week's highs, we will see 641, the same price action we saw over here. We can get the continuation towards the 641, but be prepared. Wednesday, Thursday, CPI, PPI, FOMC minutes. We are getting very, very close to this uptrend, to the upper border. We are already at the upper border of this uptrend channel. Microsoft still continues to move sideways, and second week in a row with a sideways move. Doji, but look at this, how price reacts and acts for the Fibonacci support. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 consecutive weeks of resistance. Now 3 weeks of support. The respect of price action to the Fibonacci support and resistance areas you will not find with any other indicator, because price follows trend lines, and Fibonacci as your future road for support and resistance. We are at the lower border of this uptrend channel, breaking above the 430. We will see 470 on Microsoft. Google, 3 weeks of sideways move. Now below the 150. In my opinion, this gap at the 143, look how the FTI, one click away and it can be on your chart, gives us also gaps. You see, one click away and you have everything in your chart with more than up to 85-90% accuracy. long continuation on Google, and we will see 162 and 171 below last week's lows. And in my opinion, and it's not a financial advice, it's only my opinion based on 7 years plus of experience and with the great help of the FTI, this gap below last week's lows, we will see this gap and the 143 getting filled. Amazon, new all-time highs on Amazon, closing week. New? Almost? No. Almost. Looking good. Look at this. Amazon slowly, every week gives us higher lows, higher highs, long continuation, and we will see 211 to the upside, 177 from resistance, now becomes support below it, retesting the yellow zone as support. Overall, super bullish on Amazon. MSTR closed the week with 15.6% to the downside, holding the yellow zone. We are bearish on all time frames on MSTR. It doesn't mean we need to go short. It just means one thing, that if we held long on MicroStrategy until now, this is the time, in my opinion, to say goodbye to the long and wait for the next opportunity to go long on MSTR. No long for now. Below the 1410, below the upper border of this yellow zone, we will see 1220 and then 1040 to the downside. Tesla, 60% to the downside. Tesla, look at this. The 160 area still holding as a very important area of support. Look left. It was super important area of support over here. Below it, look at the daily. We have two trend lines. The upper trend line, the blue one, helps us to identify the lower highs. The yellow one helps us to identify the lower lows. And they both intercept where? At the Fibonacci 132, which means this gap will get filled, and then continuation to the downside at the 132. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Tesla? News, no news, robotaxi, FSD? Trade what you see. Don't trade what anyone else tells you. The only thing we need is to trade what Mr. Market says to us and is speaking to us with this universal language, candlesticks, Fibonacci, and trend lines. Netflix and the weekly looks super bullish. Also on the daily, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks holding above the 602. Long continuation, and we will see all new all-time highs going towards the 680 and then new all-time highs at the 700 on Netflix. SMCI, nothing much. Every week since beginning of March, every week, what do we see? On the weekly chart, lower highs, lower lows, going back to retest the yellow zone at the 870 area. Below it, we will see 650. Overall, we are super bearish. Look at this. Multi-time frames, bearish on SMCI. So once you have the FTI in your chart, it's like having the best technical analyst with you, holding your hand and helping you make better, smarter decisions. No FOMO, no emotions. Look at SMCI on the daily. Downtrend since beginning of March. We have a gap over here at the 777 and we have more gaps to the downside. Overall, SPY on the weekly, if we can wrap up real quick. SPY weekly, 3 consecutive weeks holding above the 512, but we took last week's lows. Now below the 512, we will see 503 and then 489. On the Qs, sideways move, 423 and then 417 are the next support. Below, above 450, we will see 480 to the upside. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. More videos coming up during this weekend. Until then, Enjoy the rest of your weekend.